One thing you should really know about me is that I am the biggest coward I know, says the girl making a serial killer series on YouTube. Like, I legit need to read a horror movie's entire synopsis before I can even consider watching it with people during the day, with the windows open. Like, I even have to hide in the comment sections of scary videos on TikTok and YouTube because I cannot even with the videos themselves. But if you don't mind my cowardice, then here are some scary comics you should definitely check out. Hey, welcome to Day Day Does, a channel where you basically watch me draw and talk about fandom / storytelling things. So guess what? Spooky season is nearly at its close, at least for us boring folks. But for the rest of the interesting people living their best lives, the scary don't stop after the 31st of October. So in celebration for the good vibes they feel, I've decided to list 5 thrillingly scary comics you sparkling individuals should definitely check out on Webtoon. While Webtoon is primarily known for its romance and action genre, some of its horror, thriller, and mystery comics are nothing to sneeze at. I've come across several I thought would be like the most fun to read, whether that's during the day or in the middle of the night in the middle of an abandoned cemetery. So that should tell you plenty. So go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel if you want to be a sparkling individual, and if you're feeling my content, touch that notification bell to be notified when I upload my next great thing. You guys ready? Great. These recommendations are listed in no particular order, so let's get started. But first, a word from our sponsor. I've created an animatic series called DANTE'S AMA. It's a psychological thriller and romance about a jaded but crafty girl named Ama on the hunt for her mother's killer. Just when she thought she found him, calm and soft-spoken Dante turns out to be the wrong serial killer. Now she can't shake him. Dante is obsessed for his own reasons and wants to be involved in Ama's life by any means necessary. Will Ama find her mother's murderer in time and bring them to justice? Or will Dante's interference ruin her revenge, her life, and everyone she holds dear? The first and second episodes are currently out, with the third episode coming this fall. If this sounds interesting or right up your alley or even piqued your interest, then check it out. Links will be provided in the description box below. Now back to the video. First on the list is Bastard. I will admit that Bastard is what drew me to the Webtoon app in the first place. Without Carney B. Kim's iconic art and Yongchang Huang's writing, I would have seriously missed out on this community. The story of Bastard begins with this kid whose father is a serial killer. When the MC was younger, he used to be complicit in his father's crimes. But now that he's older, he's not about that life anymore and ends up developing a crush on this girl from school. But sadly, the girl, she happens to be his father's type of victim. With his father interested, the MC has to try to keep his crush alive. Will he succeed, or will his father end up getting away with it yet again? I know this plot sounds like a lot, but I seriously find it one of the few that I could reread without fatigue. I just love the mental chess match between the father and son, and seeing who will win in the end, and whether his father was actually genuine in his love and care for his son in the first place. Like, it's so good, y'all. Carney B and Yongchang do a fantastic job in keeping me at the edge of my seat. Like, I was literally sweating over here, man. The atmosphere is peak, and the art itself, though simple in character design, is effective in driving the main attention to the plot and increasing the suspense. Now on to my makeshift scoreboard. Story-wise, this comic is a 5 out of 5. Horror, 5 out of 5. Creepiness, 4 out of 5. Art, 4 out of 5. And suspense, 5 out of 5. I highly recommend this webcomic if your tags are hashtag serial killer, suspense, thriller, father v son, psycho dad, and hashtag maybe psycho son. Not Even Bones is hands down the most gripping story I have read that really just keeps me guessing. You know, this comic is actually an adaptation from the original novel, Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaeffer. Hopefully I said that right. It's a part of the Market of Monster series with books 2 and 3 already out, so if you want to read ahead, I salute you. For those of you more visually inclined, then you're in for quite the visual adventure by artist Alay Cenero and Glamis. The story follows MC Nita living in a world where monsters are real and more human than you think, living amongst the everyday citizens. However, society is cautious with the more dangerous classification of monsters. Nita's mom dabbles in the black market and has her own secrets. Her daughter Nita helps dissect the monster they capture, and in one unexpected twist, Nita pays dearly for her compassion, ending up in the black market, also sold. It's there that she will try to survive and escape before she too is chopped up and sold like the rest of them. Can she do it alone, or will she enlist the help of a monster far worse than humans? Like, geez Louise, the tension in this story doesn't slack in the slightest, and it's so good because you really want to see our girl Nita rise up and make those who have wronged her pay. These aren't your typical black and white characters. The morally gray will have you wondering whether they'll finally finally tip over the edge, and if you as a reader can justify their actions. Like, it's purely fantastic. Story-wise, 5 out of 5. Art-wise, well, there was actually a small bit of controversy after season 1 ended. For reasons unknown, the original artist left after season 1. We were all pretty sad about it, and then when Glamis came onto the scene as the artist for season 2, y'all should have seen the hate and resistance people put up simply because they wanted the old artist back. Like, personally, I did vibe better with Alace Inero's cinematography art because it's like watching a movie, which, you know, I'm all for that. But I will admit that Glamis has some strengths that Alace Inero lacked, and vice versa as well. Regardless, I do appreciate what Glamis is trying to bring to us in terms of anatomy for season 2, so art-wise, 4 out of 5. Honestly, a lot of people should really like stop unnecessarily hating on people just because there is change in the air. It's not cute, and some people really need to grow up. Creep factor, it is a 4 out of 5. Horror, 4 out of 5. Thriller, 5 out of 5. And mystery, 5 out of 5. The tags for this story are hashtag survival, betrayal, paranormal, subtle romance, urban fantasy, black market, morally gray MC, monsters, and hashtag evil mom. Next is I'm the Grim Reaper. This comic is a fantastic transition from the creepy horror into the creepy horror action mystery arena. You start off with the main character Scarlet, who is dead and becomes the Grim Reaper, who must kill one sinner per day, no thanks to her agreement with the devil. From here, the bigger mystery of who she is begins when she meets ex-cop Chase, as they try to figure out what the fresh hell is going on in the city and with Scarlet's death. This story really does not fail to bring you your blood, guts, and gore. Then when we get into the fantastic character development, world building, and the uniquely designed characters. And did I mention also the scenes that call to my inner shonen? Like, this story is just thebomb.com. I can't even begin to tell you. And what fascinates me even more is Greyweaver's interpretation of the Judeo-Christian religion. She gives her own twist to the devil, the Grim Reaper, angels, and the afterlife. Not to mention the cute character bonding moments is like chef's kiss. I haven't even touched upon the art yet. Them backgrounds are hella detailed. Like, Greyweaver knows how to use her Photoshop, photo bashing of assets, and editing because that shit looks fantastic. And I'm so envious of her, low-key. Like, considering the fact that she like works weekly to produce these comics is just wildly insane to me. Like, props for her for not losing any of the quality and atmosphere that she manages to produce like weekly. I also appreciate the fact that I'm the Grim Reaper really does read like a movie because it's got that similar cinematography like quality to the panels like it did with Not Even Bones season 1. So if I had to judge art wise, 5 out of 5. Horror, 4 out of 5. Creepiness, 4 out of 5. Thriller, 4 out of 5. And story wise, 5 out of 5. I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on this comic. It is so good. It could literally be animated and I'd be so freaking thrilled. The tags for this story are hashtag Grim Reaper, death, angels, demon, urban fantasy, horror, gore, supernatural, mystery, morally gray MC, morally gray love interest, and hashtag subtle romance, because I see you, girl. You don't gotta say it, but as a writer myself, I see you, you see me, we see each other. I'm the Grim Reaper just finished season 2, so check it out. There is plenty to binge read. Next is Chasing Tails. This comic is definitely more thriller than horror, but it's definitely got the horrifying suspense and added creepy jump scares randomly thrown about. The story deals with a group of teens caught in the collapse of a building that traps them underground for 14 days. When they finally get rescued, only 6 people survive out of the 9. This wouldn't normally be a big deal, except when the police investigate, turns out that 3 of the kids were actually murdered instead of just dying off from natural causes. Was it something creepy underground, or is the murderer amongst the survivors? I love how the story has the police perspective, which is something that I haven't seen since Death Note, and some of the tension that just appears in like the relationships amongst them just really helps to flesh in the characters and make them more than just one note. This story constantly leaves me throwing my coins at Bashi because OMG, who is the killer is like the #1 question each and every episode. And just like, what is really going on in this story? Because like when you think you know, you don't really. And it's not a bad thing, but it just really leaves you just trying to piece these clues together and figure out where exactly the author is trying to go with this. The art is studio quality and very neat, which is always a guilty pleasure of mine when it comes to Korean manhwas. Like, I literally run to the story every time it updates. So that's just how good it is, because I don't normally just log into the Webtoon app and just start reading the stories that I generally subscribe to, which I should, but I don't do that. So if a story actually makes me do that and spend fast pass coins, then you know it's good. Art is definitely 5 out of 5. The story is insane with so many twists and turns. So story-wise, also 5 out of 5. That murder mystery is 5 out of 5. Horror, 3 out of 5. Thriller, 5 out of 5. Tags are definitely hashtag serial killer, hashtag murder mystery, police investigate, whodunit, weird psychologist consultant, and hashtag suspense. Now, we've arrived to the last amazing horror comic.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Day Does, aka me. If you're into dark fantasy stories, the Greek myth of Hades and Persephone, mafia drama, and ghosts, then INFEROS Edge, book 1 of the Fallen Pantheon series, is the book you've got to check out. It's a modern reimagining of the Hades and Persephone tale starring an easygoing, unemployed girl named Fanny who can see ghosts. She moves to a new city and helps a dead mob boss find their killer, meeting all kinds of eccentric and dangerous characters in the city's underworld. Will Fanny be successful in her mission, or will she end up catching a bullet in the head instead? It's got slow burn romance, a murder mystery, supernatural drama, lots of Greek myth references, some most likely graphic fight scenes, and a literal devil stalking our hero. Check out my website, alanmckinley.com/inferos-edge for more info and where to purchase your own copy written by yours truly, under a pen name of course. Links will be provided in the description box below. Give this video a thumbs up to let me know you're feeling my content, and subscribe to my channel while clicking that notification bell so you can stay on top of my next great thing. Now, back to the video.
Really quickly though, let me shout out some honorable mentions that really should be on the list because they can definitely stand on their own, but for time constraint reasons, they're kind of here. Standing strong is Schoolbus Graveyard. This is a fantastically creepy survival story about a group of teens who somehow ended up in another dimension mirroring their world, where they have to survive a whole bunch of creepy shadow demon things, and that's all I really know because I'm not gonna lie, that shit was scary to read at night. Art is stylized, story is suspenseful and mysterious, and that horror, I'm telling you all, it don't let up. So read at your own peril, highly recommend. Hashtag survival, teens, shadow demons, the upside down, mystery, serious MC, yonder love interest, and hashtag subtle romance. Up next for honorable mention is Escape Room. I know I mentioned this webtoon in a previous video, but I highly recommend it to people. If you like escape rooms on crack combined with horror and gore, this story is suspenseful with a capital S. Like, imagine being stuck in some weird unknown place in the middle of some Jigsaw movie, except maybe you can survive because the main character is super smart, but socially inept, which might pose a problem to you later if you decide to team up. The horror is great, the creepiness is stellar, the cleverness needs its own rating system, and the art delivers. You guys won't regret Escape Room, and it's currently in its season 2. Hashtag survival, escape rooms, blood, guts, and gore. How did we get here? Jigsaw mastermind, mystery, and hashtag thriller. And lastly, for honorable mention, it is Surviving Romance. Now, Surviving Romance is not to be slept on either. In a similar vein to Schoolbus Graveyard, but combined with Groundhog Day, we have the main character who is living in a romance isekai life until the zombies attack. This poor girl can't escape the horror without the love interest, but the freaking bitch dies as soon as the zombie apocalypse starts in her school. This leaves the main character utterly depressed. Then something changes, and suddenly our main character is determined to find a special someone, survive the zombies, maybe with the help of her classmates in tow, and figure out what the hell is going on in her supposedly romance isekai story. Art is studio quality, and them character model assets is just 5 out of 5. You guys will know what I mean when you actually start reading it. Hashtag survival, zombie apocalypse, romance isekai turned horror, mystery, suspense, and hashtag school. And finally, this time for real, presenting Tales of the Unusual. You'll have not experienced unsettling horror until you've read Tales of the Unusual. It is the most trippy and wild, scary webcomic I have ever read. Like, the amount of creepy and unnerving vibes that come from this short story series is just beyond words, honestly. Tales of the Unusual is a completed series, and by the time this video loads, it will be under Daily Pass, which means you can read one episode per day or buy additional episodes via coins from the the initial, some odd free handful of short stories. Highly recommend you guys read it during the day if you're a scaredy cat like me. Seriously, y'all, if you think you know how the story is going to end, then you're wrong, because you won't know how the story is going to end, because the ending is just that freaky. And if you have sympathy for any character, I just need you to know that they're most likely gonna have a 50-50 chance of coming out of the story unscathed. And can I just add that the artist Sung Dae-oh is just next level, because the numerous short stories they came up with is both impressive and pretty scary. I found this story back when Webtoon was doing some sort of like scary romance type contest or something, so I decided to read up on the short stories, and boy, was I just blown away by the impressive storytelling condensed into just a few short episodes. And that's something that I've always struggled with personally. Like, I just cannot write a short story for the life of me. It's always got to be a couple more episodes or chapters longer than it really needs to be, and I just, long form is more my thing. So again, kudos to people who can do short stories, and especially Sung Dae-oh, who is just masterful at this. Like, even to this day, some of the stories that I've read still linger in my mind, like Beauty Water. If anybody knows about Beauty Water, y'all already know what's up. So I highly recommend anybody who's interested in horror stories and doesn't mind reading like 4 to 3 episodes of different short stories. Like, on a scale of 1 to 5 in terms of horror, Tales of the Unusual is definitely 5 out of 5. In terms of creepiness, 5 out of 5. In terms of art, 4 out of 5. In terms of atmosphere, 5 out of 5. Appropriate tags are as follows: hashtag unnerving, creepy to the max, short stories, read at your own peril, hashtag paranormal, hashtag existential. And that concludes this video. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I hope you enjoy these wild nuggets hidden in the Webtoon ecosystem if you weren't already aware of them. I'm glad I can shine a light on them because they really do need more attention and love. If you're already aware of them, then you obviously have fantastic taste. If you guys have any more suggestions or know of any creepy horror webcomics that you think is like thebomb.com and are of a similar vein, then comment down below. Links of these comics will be in the description box below as well. And you can definitely catch a completed glimpse of my artwork in the appropriate links in the description box. Let me know if you'd like me to make more recommendation videos or would like me to cover a specific webcomic and really analyze it. Like, I've been meaning to make a series of masterful storytelling comics and another series that basically has me analyzing about comics that have really just dropped the ball. Not for anything malicious, but just like sort of an analysis and understanding of why this went this way instead of this other way like we all thought it would. I'm really interested in doing something like that, so definitely put your suggestions if you have any down in the comments as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling my content and want to be a sparkling individual. I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers.